Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new, please check out my website at lisahopp.com. I do offer services that are available by telephone and by Zoom, and also some products that are available by email. And if you have any questions about any of my services, you're welcome to email me at serenityharbor@verizon.net. For those of you who are so supportive in coming back, thank you so much. You know I tell you every week, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It is genuine. I appreciate your support so much. I appreciate your positive comments on the Spreaker.com website, on YouTube, and on my Facebook business page. It is so appreciated. It matters. It makes my day. So thank you so much. And welcome to everyone. I hope all of you are well. I hope you're not too stir crazy. I hope you're not worried or too frantic. And it's understandable if you would be, because a lot of what's going on at this time is really happening beyond us. We're really on a ride, aren't we, where there's a lot of other things and other people in control. But the one thing that you can control is how you feel and what you're thinking and what you're saying. So it's so important right now to take care of yourself in that way. Have a positive perspective. Center yourself in an activity that takes the time away. Perhaps it's a spring cleaning project, or a movie that you've been wanting to watch, or a book you've been wanting to read. Whatever it may be, it's important to do it as much as possible. So do it more. Take care of yourself. You're worth it. You deserve it. And as one, we'll get through this together. So I wanted to talk this week about this time. And I wanted to talk about how important you are. Because you are just as important during this time to help us all get through it as anybody else. And yes, you're even just as important. And hear me out with this. You are, in your way, just as important as a doctor, a nurse, a respiratory therapist, a cleaning personnel. What you would say to me, Lisa, how can that be? And I would say, because believe it or not, even though you do not realize your worth, even though you do not realize how important you are, how much you matter, this world right now would not run as smoothly without you. It would be different without you. You play a part. You matter. Perhaps you're someone who has checked on your neighbor. Perhaps you've run to the store for someone. Perhaps you've just quarantined yourself so that you can't infect someone else accidentally. Perhaps you've been working from home and have helped your boss to stay in business. Perhaps some of you have taken a pay cut to help your boss at this time. It can be small and it can be what you consider large. But it makes a difference, and it matters just as much. The one thing I've noticed about our priceless healthcare professionals is not once do they say, when they're interviewed on TV or when they do the video blogs, not once do they say, I want more pay. I want more vacation time. I want awards. All they're asking for is equipment. They want their masks. They want their ventilators. They want, all their PPE protection. They want that. They just want assistance in doing their jobs. They know their part. And they are willing to be on the front lines doing that. Just like a fireman and a policeman, all they want is help and support. And you can help and support them in some small way. They would probably tell you just take care of yourself. Stay home as much as possible. And if you can, donate to those services like food banks and county agencies, state agencies that need the help, that are busting at the seams. But what I love about our healthcare professionals is how much they just want to do their job. And they know that it's not the time to put themselves above anybody else. It's like they're intuitive. It's like they're working from a higher consciousness. And they're saying, we all play our part. Help us do ours. Now, and when this is all said and done, should they get paid more? Yeah. Why not? They deserve it. Should they get anything they'd asked for? Absolutely. Should their student loan be wiped out? I'd do it in a heartbeat. Absolutely. I'm hoping we can come up with a way to thank them and to support them for the rest of their careers. But for right now, what I see a lot happening, especially starting just this week, and maybe it's the restlessness within us, but to be honest, we're in a time when the best of us comes out and the worst of us comes out. The real person comes out, I guess. It's one of those times when you can rise to the occasion or you cannot rise to the occasion. And so I'm seeing around a bit of, let's prop up a certain population and demonize another population. Well, why do we have to do that? Why can't we see the good that every population can bring to us? Because we are at a time of awakening. We're in a time when we're really starting for the first time to say, no, it shouldn't be like that. It should be like this. For instance, we're now understanding here in America that healthcare should not be tied to our employer. It should be a right that we have, so that we don't have the stress and the worry and the fear of this virus, because we know that we'll get the care we need. And it's an awakening. It's an expansion. And yes, now more than ever, we're realizing that maybe it's not so important to hold millionaires and billionaires up. That the ones that truly run this world are the workers. Who's really essential and who's not. But I digress. And I say to you though, even though we're now awakening and transitioning into a new dimension where the energies of love that is found in heaven is very subtly transitioning its way to earth. It's kind of hitting us in the head a little bit, but it's still subtle. Even though all of that is happening and we are awakening to what is important and what is not really important, doesn't mean that what we like in love doesn't have a place. This week I saw a string, it was like actually more yesterday, I saw a string of posts of, I'll never attend another Oscars, I'll never watch it, I'll never do this. Ooh, celebrities. Celebrities are humans. They're human beings. And a lot of them are giving millions of dollars and also volunteering to food banks, to agencies, to research. They don't have to do that. Should they do that? Probably. Should they? Sure. When you're a multimillionaire, you've got enough to go around. But do they have to? No. No one's told them. A lot of them tried not to be publicized for it. Tried to do it anonymously. Just did it. Because it's who they are. They understand that that life's been good to them. And so they play a part, you see, because they have a voice, they have power. People listen to them. When Taylor Swift when she talks, her fan base listens to her. When George Clooney talks, his fan base will listen to him. Oprah, her fan base will listen to her. Publishers become New York Times bestsellers because of what they hear from their favorite celebrity. They have a lot of power. And should they have a lot of power? That's, a debate that can be had, but they do. And so when I see them using their power in a generous way, I think that's a good example. And I like it. And that's their part. They may not, like in the past in World War II, they may not be able to go to war like Jimmy Stewart or I want to say Clark Gable, but I don't know that they actually let him fight. I think they put him in like a special honorary place because he was older. But World War II, actors could drop everything and go to war. But we can't really do that because this virus is a bit of a war, but it's not that kind of war, of course. So what can they do with their celebrity? Well, the only thing they can do is donate. And so, excuse if you hear noise in the background. It's someone's giving a call. It was being answered. So the only thing that they can do at this time is give their funds, and they're doing it. Rihanna, Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, John Bon Jovi is serving food. Nashville stars, helping at food banks, giving money. The list is endless. And so, in their way, they're doing all that they can do, all that really can be expected of them. And they're essential. They're essential too. And why? Not because they're stars, but because they have the means to help. Just like our grocery employees have the means to help because of their jobs. I wish they could all stay home and just collect. But they can't. They're on the front lines too. And they're important. So we now know who's really essential, who is really what we need to make this world run. But that doesn't mean that you sitting here listening to me don't play a part. Because you make this world run too. So never make yourself smaller. And don't get into the loop of running other people down. Even if you see someone who is deciding to not be of their higher consciousness, just pray for them. Just send them love. I tell you, the people who are at their worst right now are people who never got enough hugs. They never were shown love. That's from top to bottom of this world, those people. Send them what they never received energetically, and you may be surprised that you see some changing. Sometimes you just don't realize Sometimes we'll say, I don't care, but that's not true. They care. Everybody at the end of the day wants love. Everybody at the end of the day wants acceptance, beginning and end of the day. Everybody wants to be loved for who they are. Sometimes when we're at our worst, it's a cry for that love. So please don't get pulled into the demonizing. Just know they probably need love more than anyone. And there's really at this time, let's not make a bad guy or a good guy. Just know that what you quote might see as a bad guy quote, bad quote, it's probably someone who needs love more than anyone. They didn't get it. Send them a surge of it. And so these posts, and there was more than one, by the way, just about picking on a population, and such. And we picked on others. It's not just about celebrities. There's a trend starting, so I addressed it because I don't know if I thought it triggered me. I felt like I thought it was unfair. I just thought it was unfair. Because Ralph Lauren, the designer, didn't have to give $10 million. It's nice he has it to give. But as I said, they could be hoarding it right now. And if they were hoarding it, maybe you'd have, people would have a cause. But they're not. They're not. And they're entertaining us. They're giving us free concerts over the internet. And they don't have to do that either. And it's really cool. It's really cool. I love watching some of my favorite artists play my favorite songs. So enjoy that. See that they're trying to give a contribution. And ask yourself, what can I do to contribute? What can I do at this time? I put out a meditation the other day as a way of myself contributing, hoping it would help. I didn't know if it would entirely, but I wanted to try because I want to make a contribution too. Perhaps I know some of you who listen to me also do videos and recordings and such. Well done. We all have a place. Maybe some of you are sewing masks. Keep doing that. As I said, though, just staying in your home is, for some of you, enough. Staying in your home and praying is a great contribution. A great contribution. It is in the mind of Source, of Heaven, just as important as a frontline worker, believe it or not. Because that's how much you matter. That's how much you matter during this time. And so I thought it was very important today to talk to you about that. Because we're at the middle of this all. Not the beginning, not the end, but the middle. And I don't know necessarily if we'll get rougher from here, but I know we'll get more restless from here. We may get more sensitive from here. And we may get more depressed from here. I know the other day I had to run out for an important... Well, I ran out of food. So I had to go out. But I did... I have had masks because I have a compromised immune system a lot of the time. And though last test showed it a little bit stronger, I don't like to take a chance. So I do have surgical masks, not the N95s, but surgical masks. So I put one on and I headed out to the market. And I headed out because it was important. And it was good to be out. It was good to be out. And I try not to go out because I'm trying to do my part and work from home as much as possible and stay at home as much as possible. And I thanked the, and this is not boastful. I just thought it was important because I understand how the small things are important too. I thanked the cashier for working, and she stopped what she was doing. I was so grateful. She was more grateful than I realized she would be, and it made me smile because I don't think she hears it enough, how important she is and how we're grateful for her. Oh, sure, we posted on Facebook, maybe we posted on Twitter, but she heard it from me in person through my mask, and she was moved. Wow, that made my day. Just that I could have positively impacted her because, of course, she deserves more. She deserves double the salary at least and a lot of time off after this. Paid time off. Probably sick time she doesn't get. And so, she deserves much more than that. Those words I gave her. But it made me happy because it was such a small thing. It was such a simple thing. And this is something that you can do too when you're out. Thank the clerks. Thank the stalkers. Thank the police officer if you see them. Do a special thank you to the fire trucks that are going by more. This week, I get to see the Easter Bunny on a fire truck in my neighborhood. I'm going to be like a 5-year-old kid out there waving, but I'll also be thanking the professionals that will be bringing the Easter Bunny around. It's so important because they don't have to do that, and they're doing it a lot for the little kids. They're showing up for the little kids now so that their birthdays aren't a disaster, that their birthdays are a little bit better. What small thing can you do? Just a little thing, even if you don't think it's meaningful. It will be. It will be meaningful. But what can you do? Think of that today and do it. The smallest gesture is worth much more than you realize. I can promise you that. The smallest gesture. So when you go this week to chime in a negative way, no matter what it's about, and believe me, it's easy sometimes. I don't say a whole lot of things I would be rightful in feeling and saying about what's going on right now because I don't want to be a part of the negative flow. So I post positively. But is it easy at times? Absolutely. It is not easy at times to not go somewhere. I'm being mischievous and I'm being mysterious, or not, depending if you know me. I could very easily on social media do a commentary every day about certain topics, about how this virus is being run, all of that. But I'm not, because it doesn't help the situation. What helps the situation is spreading love, spreading positive posts, spreading virtual hugs, doing Zoom meetings, being a relief to those. There was a Facebook friend, acquaintance, who was quite troubled, was letting the world get to her. And she had a lot of anger, and she didn't know what to do with the anger. It was affecting her health. And I said to her, I posted, I don't really talk to her. She's a bit of a distant Facebook friend, but I posted to her and I said, put that aside for now. That will take care of itself, what you're angry about. What's important right now is taking care of you. Be your own best friend. Surround yourself in a positive bubble. read what you want, watch what you want. Yourself has to be first. And while you're right in how you feel, let it be on the shelf for right now, because what's most important is you. She really appreciated that. And that's honestly how we should all be taking everything right now. Put ourselves first. Take care of our own health, because the happier you are, the happier you feel, the more peaceful you feel, the greater your immune system will be, the stronger it will be. So it's so important right now. It's so important to put aside your anger, your rage, your restlessness, your depression. I know depression is clinical at times. I'm not saying just put it aside. I'm not being dismissive of it. If you need to reach out for help, help is still available. But when you go to feel sad, have a good cry, but then focus on what can make you happy. Because at this time, the sadder you feel, the more angry you feel, even the more you drink alcohol, even the worse that you eat, even though you're allowed to have every once in a while comfort food, even the worse your diet, it weakens your immune system. So even though I will occasionally have a glass of wine, I did last night while watching a movie and having some pizza, I don't drink a lot because it weakens my immune system. So keep that in mind. Don't weaken your immune system now, and rage and sadness are big factors in that. Take care of yourself. You are precious. You are worth it. You matter. And stick your hand out and stick out yourself in some way to help your fellow humans. And let what bothers you be put aside and take care of itself at another time. It'll help you to get through this, and it'll help you to help the mass of us get through this as well. So I'll leave you this Sunday to ponder that. I appreciate all of you very, very much. And I hope in some way you took something meaningful from this broadcast today. I wish you a good week. I wish you a week of blessings. And you know what? That's what I hope to remember to talk about next week. The blessings. See the blessings around you, because I'm seeing them. I'm seeing how I'm being taken care of at this time. I'm seeing the synchronicities. Notice the synchronicities. I'll give you a small one. It is so small. It's so small. But I noticed it as part of synchronicities. Before we got quarantined here in my state, I got a gift from someone who just felt that they wanted to give it to me. And the gift is a product that will help my roots to stay brown. And the timing was right before we were sheltered in place. So when everybody else is talking about their roots coming in and we're going to find out who's really blonde now, my hair is hanging. It's doing good. Because when I want to be on video, I just do a little touch-up. And so I saw that as a little small, minuscule kind of, oh, what a good timing that was. What a little tiny gift that was. And is it meaningful in a larger way? No, it's so vain. But it's a small little example of what's been going on. What happened before, it's like I was set up to be taken care of. And I still am set up to be taken care of. And so this is also, by the way, and I'm going a little bit, I'm at 29 minutes, so I'll keep this shorter. But notice how you've grown. I've grown. I'm doing Zoom now when I'm doing it sooner than I thought I would do it. And I'm now thinking of other things to offer on Zoom that I never thought I would. So my business has creatively grown because of the times we're in. I'm thankful. It's a blessing. I've noticed that the wineries around me that have to shut down dining in and wine tastings are now announcing they're in more stores because they had to get in more stores that were open or their business would fail. So their business has now grown because it had to. You see what I'm saying? There are blessings. Notice what's happening right around you. Because no matter, and remember, I'm being sensitive. I understand the reality. Some of you are probably unemployed. But notice the little tiny moments where you're taken care of. Heaven never leaves us alone. There's a purpose to this time. A purpose beyond 5D transition here to a greater time in our world. That's happening. But there's also a purpose to growth here. And growth is happening. So notice, how are you growing? What qualities are you growing right now that you wouldn't have had otherwise? And you're welcome to share them with me. Because I've noticed my own growth. And I've seen the growth. I've seen the blessings happening. And I get excited. And I know that probably those wineries are sweating it. But when they get through this, as we will get through this, they're going to be open again, dining in, wine tastings, and they'll look around and go, I also have an expanded business now. Creativity brings survival. We're figuring out how to survive. You are too. Give credit where credit's due. If it's you, and you know it's just you, give yourself credit, a pat on the back. If you know it's a miracle and it's heaven or universe, just throw out a thank you. I'm living in gratitude, and I'm having strong faith. Enjoy the faith. Expand the faith. Build the faith. That's what it's all about. You're being carried, whether you realize it or not. Don't give up. See the little blessings. Ask for help. You'll get it. Even if it's 11th hour, you'll get it. So I wanted to leave you guys with that. Notice what's happening around you. And just give it a nod. Just give it a nod. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Today is a special day. There's a birthday in the family. Before getting on with you, baked a 4-layer chocolate cake. It's a tradition. It's a bummer because not everybody's going to get to have it that normally would have it. But I still did it because it's tradition. And we have to make the best of our times. Thank you again. I appreciate you. I send you thoughts, prayers, and blessings. Take care of yourselves. I love you. Bye-bye.